Hey folks, we are back with some chill mini painting for you today, and we stepped out of our comfy slap chop bubble for this amazing bathtub mimic designed by Cast and Play. Make sure you stick around until the end of the video for a strange trick that made this mini look amazing. Also, all the colors I used for this mini are time-stamped if you want to jump around to see what colors I used. Let's chill and paint. Instead of the typical black base coat with a white dry brush on top, I've opted for a straight white base coat. This paint job is in the spirit of someone who is brand new to painting, picked up these speed paints off the shelf, and are just following the instructions out of the box. So let's see how this style of speed painting compares to slap chop. Maybe it can be a useful technique we break out for certain styles of miniatures. So, obviously, I started with some Satchel Brown for the wood, and it looks decent over the white. Typically for slap chop, I thin this paint down, but no need to do that here. This is, after all, the suggested use for these paints. In the instructions in the box, it explicitly says to put on a white base coat before applying the speed paints. For the iron, I mixed Broadsword silver with some Tyrian navy to get a dull, dark iron finish. It is at this point that I'm starting to bump into a frustration with this paint style. First thing I thought about this white base coat is it's very hard to apply an even coat with white paint. In general, the lighter the color of acrylic paint, the more you can see the brushstrokes, so painting the whole thing white gave me a very splotchy and ugly base coat. If I do this style again, spray paint is probably the way to go. But again, this is in the spirit of a newbie who just grabbed these paints off the shelf and they don't have a good spray paint setup. Personally, I've got limited space, so spray painting base coats isn't ideal. I'd rather take the extra 5 minutes and just paint it on. If you have a tip for painting on smooth white base coats, I'd love to hear it. We'll see if this splotchy base coat affects the final result. A common gripe that I see online, and I do agree with the sentiment, is that speed paints are not forgiving to paint with. Compared to acrylics, it works more like a stain or a wash than a traditional paint. And if you get it in the wrong spot, more speed paint over top does not cover it up. You need to paint inside the lines. Where that comes into play here is the white base coat is so bright that it demands paint to be stuffed into every nook and cranny to cover it up. It invites mistakes. In contrast, if the Mini has a slap chop base, these tricky recesses are black, and you don't even need to risk getting your brush in there and accidentally getting paint where it doesn't belong. Because I was trying to get all the white, the result for this particular model is I've got quite a few messy lines and paints where it doesn't belong. Now, I know I can make this go away by just slowing down and being a little bit more diligent, but this is speed painting. It's supposed to be fast. Okay, so I've highlighted some reasons why this style of painting may be inferior to slap chop, but at this point I have a confession. While I had some frustrations during the paint job, I can't argue with the final results. I think this might be my favorite Mini I have ever painted. The fact that there are some spots with messy lines just doesn't matter because the overall effect of the final product is genuinely stunning. So let's talk about what took this Mini over the top. As I finished the speed paint, I was honestly a little disappointed. I felt like the Mini looked a little flat. I decided to break out the washes. As an acrylic painter for years, washes are essential for delivering contrast, unless you're one of those crazy pros that spends hours slowly layering. Using washes is super easy. You just slap it all over the model and let it pool and create shadows in the recesses. I applied flesh wash to the monster's tongue and teeth and dark wash to the rest of the model. Not only did it give me that shadow effect I was looking for, but it covered up any lingering white specks that got missed and were sticking out like sore thumbs. I loved how the model looked when the wash initially went on. The mouth of this monster looked wet and gross, and you can really feel how it gave the model life and character. But as it dried, it lost the wet, glossy finish and got a little bit more matte. So genuinely, I'm on the fence about whether this painting style is superior to slap chop. I think it requires a lot more care and time to apply the speed paint well. And while the bright colors with the wash turned out incredible, that isn't going to work for most miniatures. So I'll definitely be trying this paint style again. Let me know your take in the comments. That's when I tried something really crazy. I snuck into my wife's nail polish and stole her high gloss top coat. It was honestly so silly. I was in the bathroom at like 10:30 at night, which is probably too late for a new dad like me, applying my wife's nail polish to my bathtub mimic. But folks, you can't argue with the results. Bam! What a finish. The colors are so vibrant and it makes the miniature pop. Never before have I been so frustrated with a paint job, only for it to turn out like this. As always, thanks for watching. It's been a blast getting the channel back off the ground after the newborn hiatus, and I appreciate everyone, new and old, who's been watching. We're closing in on 1,000 subs now, so if you haven't, please like and subscribe. See you next time.